Julie Comfort, representing Davy Lovell-Smith Limited. Julie, thank you for joining us, and you have 5 minutes for the submission this afternoon. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd just like to state first off that I disagree with the comment by staff have made in relation to our submissions that DCs are not collected in relation to waterways or wetland work. The project lists in the DC policies from about 2013 onwards have always included waterways and wetland purchases, open water systems and natural waterways as being parts of the capital projects, mostly under the stormwater headings, for which DCs have been collected for. So it is something which appears to have always been collected. However, in the past, it's only been if we've been actually vesting and providing land for basins that any credits are given, and those are normally in relation to the stormwater contributions. Upgrades to the channels that may feed into those basins that carry natural surface water, i.e. they're spring fed or in which stormwater is going into, the value of the land and the cost of the creation of those and the improvements to those are not credited. And this is despite some of the wording in the policy which suggests that they could be, as I've noted in our submissions, where they talk about ecological upgrades, protecting ecological sites and that sort of thing. The council's own figures that we've had recently have identified a cost of about $750 per metre for the design, construction and planting of a section of waterway that's to be enhanced. And we've had values over the last few years for some of the sites that we've developed for our clients have valued these reserves at anywhere between $170 and $200 per square metre. And so you can see the sorts of costs that can be involved in this, and this is land which is being given to the council for free, assets which are being effectively upgraded for free, and no credit or acknowledgement of that is provided for in either the stormwater contributions or the reserve contributions. And this may be, in terms of the reserve contributions, the fact that we're often told that we have to put these in as utility reserves. Yet for the most part they are carrying natural water, so they're spring fed, and the only utility that they may serve is in some form of natural land drainage, as we're not allowed to actually direct stormwater into most of these. They essentially are being protected for their ecological values and is providing some form of passive recreation, because we quite often get told we have to put pathways along them. These costs, again, will fall solely on the developer, and which end up always also being in the purchase prices. So as noted in our submissions, this is becoming even more of an issue of the land that we're now having to develop around Christchurch. That land is low-lying, it is often wet, it's riddled with drainage channels, which are now considered by ECAN for the most part to be natural modified water bodies based on historic wetlands. And we're also finding small pockets of wetlands in some of the back parts of these areas. One site we've got a client who we've discovered a wetland of about 2,400 square metres, and we're having to put that into a reserve of around 4,000 square metres. So based on our costs that we've had for just the land itself, if we had it at $200 a square metre, that's $800,000 worth of land, which is to be vested in the council as a local purpose utility reserve, we've been told, for this natural wetland, even though it serves absolutely no utility purpose. These areas are being protected as important ecological habitats and as passive recreation opportunities. So we're requesting some form of recognition and a reinstatement into the policy that these areas would be looked at in terms of being credited for land, whether that goes against reserves or stormwater, we don't mind. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much indeed. Time for questions, if there are any questions. All right, thank you very much indeed for taking the time to come and present to us this afternoon, and also for the written submission that we've got in front of us.
No problems whatsoever.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. All right.